Hey guys, I got a message I want to share with you guys, and it's about the ability to be able to heal ourselves. I was hanging out with some guys, just earlier today, and we were talking about this idea that people think they have to go to the doctor for everything, that they have to take a medicine for everything, that there's just something that is wrong that they just don't understand, and they need medical supervision, they need, specialized help. And I understand if somebody doesn't understand these things, they don't understand how the body works. And that's why I want to share some really simple things, because everybody's body's a little different. And I don't know what type of conditions you may have or what type of history you have. But what I want to share with you today is just something very simple that's pretty fundamental for everybody's bodies. If you're feeling sick, if you're feeling some pain, if you're feeling some tightness, if you're feeling some discomfort, what I like to do, because it happens to me sometimes, honestly, not very often, but enough to where I start to practice these things. I look at the few different things. And it's really simple. Number one, are you getting enough sleep? This may sound like common sense, but in reality, it's not. I've seen so many people, they don't get enough sleep, and then something's wrong with their body, and they're like, oh no, it can't be the sleep. It can't be the sleep. It's got to be something else, because they don't understand what sleep is actually doing for their body. They don't understand that sleep is so important that it's needed for complete recovery of every aspect in our body. And if our body doesn't have the ability to recover, then you're just going into sickness. You're going into disease, because the body needs to recover. We work our body, we move around, we do all these things. It needs to recover. And instead of getting into all the intricate workings of why and how this affects that, let's just keep it really simple, because that's the way I like to operate my life. I don't want to complicate all this stuff. If I'm not getting enough sleep, then I need to go sleep. If something is wrong with my body and I'm not getting enough sleep, first thing I'm going to look at is, I need to sleep. Check that off, right? If I'm not doing it, let me do that first. So now, next thing to look at, am I moving enough? Am I moving my body enough? There's been times to where I sit around, maybe I'm sitting in front of a computer for too long, and I go from that, and suddenly I sit at a restaurant, I eat, and then I sit at the movie theaters, and then I go home, and I lay down, and I go to bed, and I wake up, and I sit at the table, drink my coffee, and be on the laptop again. And there's days to where I get into that. It happens. And suddenly, I'm not feeling well. Suddenly, I got cramps, I got bloatedness, I got pains, I got weird lower back tightness. And so I look at the checklist. Did I sleep enough? Yes, I did. I slept 8 hours. Okay, cool. Have I been moving enough? No, I haven't. I'm like, okay, time to get my butt off this couch, off this chair, out of this computer, and just start moving around. Do my workouts and all that, right? So that's the second thing, okay? Have you moved around enough? Okay. Exercise. Go move around, all right? So third thing, am I eating the right foods? It's huge, the things that we put into our body. And again, I'll use my personal experience as examples, because I've done all of these things. There'll be times where I go ahead, I eat clean pretty often, about 80% of the time I eat clean. But once in a while, I just go to town with some stuff, and I just go days and days and days eating garbage, fries, burgers, chips, just whatever it is. There's just no conscious of, I just go to town with it. It happens. Not very often, but enough to where this is something that I need to understand for myself, Did I eat the wrong foods that's making my stomach hurt, that's making my body, a lot of times I'll start to break out. I'm like, oh shit, I see some pimples going on, and I already know. Did I go to town and eat the whole box of chocolates along with the whole box of cookies and all this stuff, right? Did I have a couple pizzas? Things like that, right? So, got to check off number 3. Am I eating the right thing? All right? If I'm eating a whole bunch of garbage, we need to change that. Okay. Number 4, and this is a big one. Am I stressed out? Have I been feeling stuck, figuring out this problem? Have I been having stressful people in my life? I've been having to deal with something constantly every single day that doesn't seem to have a resolution, doesn't have a solution, Is there a huge project that's just so overwhelming, taking all of my attention, all of my time? I don't even get to relax because I'm just so in this thing, you know? Am I stressed? That is probably a huge, huge one, you know? We gotta make sure. We gotta make sure that if that is happening, start to relax. Start to relax, take a little break. You know, exercising, moving around helps. You know, stretch, go for a walk, unplug, do something fun. You know, do something that you actually enjoy. Anything to basically relieve the stress, you know? There's a lot of different ways to do so. I do my morning practice every day for the reason of getting rid of stress. There's so many other ways. Easy one to do right away. Do something that you love, you know? That can be getting rid of stress really quickly, you know? But that's number 4. All right, get rid of stress. So, covering all of these things, checklists, once you get all this stuff covered, you know, you're doing everything now, right? You're getting enough sleep, you're eating the right foods, you know, you're moving around, your mind's not all bogged down on stress and stuff. So now you got all that. So now, if you're still not feeling well, the pains, the tightness, the cramps, this weird thing going on, if that is still happening, then, you know what, maybe you can go see a doctor. Maybe you can go ahead and start researching and start to think about, maybe I need to look into it a little bit more, you know. But until then, personally, I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you exactly what to do, but I'm just suggesting some basic stuff, you know, I mean, honestly. I would suggest just go through the checklist, you know. If you didn't get enough sleep, see if it's happening. Just what I would do is I would knock out all 4 at the same time, you know. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing one, I'm just going to do all 4. So I start to get enough sleep, I start to eat right, I start to move around, and I make sure I'm not stressed. You know, I make sure I'm just relaxed. And to be honest, guys, like, I don't see the doctor much at all, you know, for anything. And it's because I just go follow these really simple protocols. And it's helped me for years and years. Like, I can count how many times I saw the doctor in the last, like, maybe 15 years, you know? Like, I had a hairline fracture on the bottom of my left foot. So I went to the doctor. They said they're not going to do anything. So then I healed it myself. I ripped my hamstrings. If you guys watch Six Pack, I made a video, the no excuse on workouts. I ripped my hamstrings. I didn't go see a doctor. It just healed, you know? I mean, I blow out parts of my body all the time back in the days. I don't go to a doctor. You know, every time when I get a flu, I get rid of a flu in 3 hours. Yeah, no bullshit. 3 hours. You know, I can tell you guys how to do that, but that'll be another video. But coughs, it doesn't matter, you know. Same thing. That's a good one. Like, hey, you know, my throat's getting scratchy. You know, maybe I should go see a doctor. Hell no, man. You know what you do? Number 1, right? I cover those 4 things. And then here's another one. Let's just say, for example, you know, your throat's hurting. You know what I usually think of? Have I been talking a lot? Have I been singing a lot? Have I been screaming a lot? You know, I would look at that. And if the answer is no, okay, then you can dive into some other things. Like, is there something that I want to express? Is there something I want to express, but I feel like I can't? I'm blocked. Because we can be energetically blocked right here. You know, you ever feel like you have a frog stuck in your throat, you know, type of thing, to where you're like, you want to say something, but suddenly this area starts to lock up, you know? It happens, all right? So the point I'm trying to make is, you know, we have the ability to be in charge of our body. Our bodies are made to heal itself. Given you just do the basic stuff that your body needs to heal itself. And I promise you guys, 9 times out of 10, it will heal. You know, it will heal. And as you start to just take care of these things, you know, start knocking out these things all the time. Make sure you cover all of those areas. You'll find that you'll just stop getting sick. You know, I see people smoking cigarettes constantly, smoking, drinking, and then they get sick. And they're always sick. And then they're all like, oh man, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm so sick. And I'm like, well, yeah, I don't want to talk about your habits, you know, but, you know, maybe you can, you know, kind of let go a little bit. You know, you've been drinking like crazy. Oh, yeah, but, I mean, I can't be that because I drink all the time. You do. You know? It's like, look, man, I ain't got nothing with someone's habits. You drink, smoke, do whatever you want. Do what makes you happy. But if you got a problem, at least open your eyes, man. And just look at things. It's like if somebody drinks and they smoke and they got problems with their body, and they're like, oh shit, man, it's because I drink and I smoke. And you know that. Yeah, yes, I know that. I know that. Okay, cool. Well, then you know what? You do what you need to do. And we ain't here to tell anybody what to do. We're just here to make sure people know what's going on. It's like just because see, when we know what's going on, when we understand enough about our bodies, the way our mind works, just the general things about our health, now we're able to have a little more control over our lives. And then we can decide whether or not we want to do something, not do something. That's just up to every person's individual journey in their life and their option. People can live the way they want. But what I find is that a lot of people just don't know. They haven't learned it. They don't teach it enough in school. And biology class doesn't really cover all that. It covers into cells, and so these are some of the common things that I feel that every single person should be able to know, so this way they can take care of themselves just a little bit better. So leave the comments below. Let me know if some of these things resonate with you. Share with me other things you'd like to discuss, you'd like me to talk about in the videos. And as always, thank you guys for all the support. Love you guys. See y'all later.